Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going over the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali XL. I'm super excited to review this because, well, it's going to be absolutely crazy. But first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC here in American Fork, Utah for providing us with the Yukon. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get right into the video. Now, under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 19 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go to the front end on the Denali, and you can see this is where the changes are the most drastic. So you can see back there, you've got the old model, so you can see that in comparison to the new one. You can see this is more like the new 1500 Sierras. So if we look right over here, you can see those all in line. They kind of mimic the C-shaped headlights with all of that, with the front end on the new Yukon. But overall, it's just massive and imposing, and I absolutely love it, especially with the LED accents on the lights. So how it comes around here looks really good. The lights in general, I mean, just look how bright those are, but also from an aesthetic standpoint, just super solid. And then you can see the fog lights down here below, and then you've got parking sensors all along the front, and then the massive chrome grille says GMC there in the center. But yeah, overall, really good looking. In comparison to the Tahoe, I think this looks so much better. Now around the side here, we've got 22-inch wheels. Yes, that's right, 22-inch wheels with 275mm tires in the front and over in the rear as well. And then in terms of the overall design, I just like how many spokes they have. It just makes it look really good. And then also it's a massive wheel, so it kind of needs a lot of spokes for it to make sense. But you can see with the overall size of the vehicle, it makes sense to have 22s, because if it had something smaller, it would kind of look funny in my opinion. But you've got the GMC badge right there, you've got the Denali badge as well, and then they do this like chrome accented strip right there. You notice the mirrors two tones, so white on the top, then you got the black on the bottom. But yeah, overall the proportions on this is really good, even though it's like the longer wheelbase, which usually looks a little bit funny. This actually looks really good. Now we can see the key fob here, so you've got the GMC logo there on the back, and then you can see in the front we've got the unlock, the lock, you've got the remote start, the release for the hatch, and then you've got the release for the window as well. So you've got all those functions. But to do the remote start, you just have to actually press that twice, and then it'll start right up. And look at the exhaust tips. The exhaust tips now look so good, just like the new aesthetic. I absolutely love it. Now the next function was that release for the back. So again, just press that twice and then it'll pop that open. And then again, if you press the other one twice, that'll just pop open the window. But if we actually take a look back here and look at everything here in the rear, you can see storage space with the longer wheelbase is so much better compared to the shorter one. You guys remember I reviewed the Tahoe. The Tahoe is going to be the same size as a regular Yukon, but you just press this little plastic tab down there, lift it up, you can see there's a little bit of extra storage. And then more importantly, you do have all these fold down buttons for the seats themselves. So notice that you can just press that, pretty self-explanatory, and it'll lower it down. And then you can press that and then it'll raise it back up. Now this is for the second row, so you just double tap that twice and it'll throw it down. It doesn't raise it back up, you have to do that manually yourself, but still pretty cool in that. And you actually get a full power outlet back here. So everyone makes a joke about making toast in the back. I'm gonna make the joke about like you using a hair dryer here in the back. So yeah. Now you do have a release right here, just press that, and then this is what will actually lower down the rear hatch. Pretty self-explanatory. But now that the hatch is down, you guys can see the design here in the rear. Again, they kind of did similar taillights to what is on the Sierra. I really like the look of them, except obviously they come out to here on the Yukon, whereas on the truck they don't really do that. And then you guys remember parking sensors all throughout the rear as well. This is the bezel for the receiver hitch, just to cover it up so the SUV has like a cleaner look in the rear. And again, here's another look at the exhaust tips, because it just looks really good. Like they did a really good job with the exhaust tips. Coming into the back, you do get keyless entry, so just press that and that'll unlock it, and then that's also the lock function as well. And then the other thing I want to mention, look at the chrome around the windows, so it goes all the way around to the front, so it's kind of like that one unique piece right there. But opening it up, you can see the door panel here in the rear, so you actually have stitching and soft touch all around, and then there is this really nice wood trim to go along with it, and then you've got kind of like the silver trim just down below that. And door handle actually matches, like it all matches right there. And then this is where you're going to rest your arm, which definitely really nice to the touch. Got the little Denali plaque right there. And then here is the second row seat. Pop up the headrest so you guys can see a full view of that, but you can see the black stitching, perforated leather, really nice look to it. And this one does have the captain chairs. Popping in is really easy because you do get running boards, and I'll show those to you guys once we go up to the front. But sitting back here, it's got a ton of space. I'm 5'11", and I have plenty of legroom, and headroom is also just super solid in the rear. And then notice that you do get a little section where you can control the climate here in the back. It is a tri-zone climate, and you get little heated seat controls with a couple of USBs, and then you can see the cup holders there at the top. Now with the third row, legroom's a little bit more cramped, but it's actually still pretty spacious. You can still fit back there pretty comfortably. They do get some cup holders there for the rear, and wait for it, Bose sound system. So you got a good sound system here, and there's pretty much speakers all over, and there's vents all throughout the top here. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see a couple of them, but you can see vents all over. So just from like a conditioning standpoint too, air conditioning I mean, works really well. Coming up to the front, we do get keyless entry again, and opening up, you guys can see the running boards pop out. Pretty nice. The door panel here at the front, it looks identical to what's in the rear, so it's nice that they do like the nice materials for the front and the back. And then you see you've got all the window controls, mirror controls as well, memory seats for the front. And then here's what the seats look like here at the front. So again, you've got the little Denali right there, and the bolstering on these is a little bit more aggressive than the back. Still really comfortable though. And then here's what the adjustments look like on the side of the seat. And then you can see the pedal layout there at the bottom. And then this is the little hood latch release. And then this is for the drive line select. And then you've got the light controls right over here. Got the parking brake right in that little space. And then this is for the lane departure assistance. You've got your parking sensors, your hill descent control, stability control, auto stop start. This is for the power outlets. And other than that, steering wheel adjustment. And that's all she wrote before we pop in. Now to start her up, foot in the brake, and everything will come to life. Gives you like a giant GMC logo right there in the center screen, which is pretty cool. Here's the steering wheel in the Yukon, or should I say Denali. Yeah, you get special badging because you got the bad boy vehicle. Anyways, coming down here, you can see you've got the voice commands, phone controls. This is for the center screen. Over here on the other side, you've got the controls like the cruise control, your heated steering wheel as well. And then for the steering wheel, I really like this. It's kind of like interesting. Obviously, you aren't gonna be touching this, but it looks really cool design-wise. And then with the rest of the steering wheel, very smooth leather all the way around with black stitching, so it's kind of like all blacked out for the theme. And then this is the little windshield wiper stock, also the turn signal stock as well, and that's all for the steering wheel. Now here for the center, you've got RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed, and then you do have a couple screens you can scroll through. So like you can go into the navigation, for example, you've got your phone, and then all the way back on the other side, you've got the music, information for the vehicle itself, and then your home screen. Pretty self-explanatory. They haven't really changed too much with the center screen compared to what they have like on the new GMC Sierra, so you just kind of get that cooler new unit put in here. Now this whole part right here, I really like just the overall aesthetic of it. I think it's a really cool look. First off, we're going to pop it into reverse, which I forgot we actually got to pull it that way, but the camera system is absolutely phenomenal. So you get the bird's eye view here, and then you have the backup camera view here, and then you can see you can pop through a bunch of different camera views, so you can see literally every single angle on this car zoomed in. You can take away the lines, you can have the lines there, like literally everything that you could ask for from like a camera view perspective. This has it. It's super solid. It's really easy to use as well, and the resolution on it is just perfect. So I do not have any complaints on this. I wish more vehicles had camera systems like this. Now with the rest of the infotainment system, you guys have seen this in a lot of the newer Chevys, and then the GMCs, and then the Cadillacs as well. You guys know I really like this infotainment system just because the response time is really solid on it. You do get Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, really easy to use on those as well. But yeah, just overall good infotainment system. This has plastic wrap on top of it, and you can see still it's picking up my finger fine. Response time is super solid. So again, really good infotainment system. Now here is the interesting part. This is the gear selector. So you can see you press in for park, you actually pull up for reverse, and then you push in for neutral, and then you pull up for drive, and then you've got the low gearing, which you push in for, and then you can do like the manual shifts with those two buttons right there. Now the only thing that's a little bit confusing about this when you first get in is it looks like you pull up on everything because they all have that little latch design on them, but just remember the ones where you can actually stick your finger in, that's where you're going to pull out of. Once you kind of just get used to the general idea of it, it's really easy to use, and it's actually pretty cool. Now you can see in this area, you've got the radio controls up top, and then you do have the dual zone climate controls down there. And then you can see you've got the heated and ventilated seats, and you can control the rear climate. You can shut it off really easy on that. And then this is the cool part. So the benefit of having that gear selector is the center console is full of storage space. Don't have to have a gear selector. You do get wireless charging in here. And then you can see you've got some more USBs, and then this is just a regular 12 volt. But yeah, this is a big benefit. Instead of having like a huge gear selector in here, then you just get the extra storage space. And then coming over the center console, really nice with the look of it, and it's massive. It's like this massive black hole which you can fit a million things in, and that's all. Now coming along the dash here, you can see it's all soft touch along the dash, which is really nice. And then coming down into this area, you see they do more of that wood trim, which looks really nice. And they do soft touch even down to here. So like all the touch points are really nice. And that leads us over into the glove box, which you can see normal size glove box, nothing crazy happening there. Up top here, we got a full panoramic sunroof that goes to the second row. Anything bigger would be crazy, and I don't know how they'd make that work without something breaking, but you can see you've got the universal garage door opener over here, and then you have the controls for the tailgate, and then also seats in the rear to raise and lower them, which is pretty cool. Sunroof controls are in that little area, and that is everything for the top. We can see the window sticker here, 2021 Yukon XL 4-wheel drive Denali. If you guys want to freeze the frame on any parts, you guys can kind of just see all of this stuff, and it's even got magnetic ride control. That's pretty cool. But again, feel free to freeze the frame so you can see all the options this particular one has that come with it. Boom. And then you can see over in this area, we're finally getting into the optional equipment. So that Denali premium package, $7,000, and there's all the stuff that comes with that. And then we can see the total MSRP, $81,895 after all of the options. And yeah, pretty cool. There's your view of the window sticker. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Now let's quickly go over visibility here in the Yukon Denali, so you guys can see visibility over the hood, super solid. And just because it's like so boxy shaped, you can instantly tell where the end just like ends, right? And then you can see visibility through both of the mirrors, and then all throughout the rear. So a bunch of very large windows. Even though this is a really long and large SUV, it's actually really easy to see throughout all of it. And that all being said, well, we got to pull up. Let's set off. Well, I am sort of initially setting off here, still in the parking lot, and I just want to show you guys going over that curb. Super smooth. Like, this thing is so well built. I'm super impressed just with, like, obviously the new lineup. Obviously you have the Tahoe, and then you've got the Yukon, and then you've got the Cadillac. But this, from like an appearance standpoint, I think this one's my favorite. I just love how this looks as just an overall vehicle. But actually getting up and going onto the road, so far really easy to maneuver. It doesn't feel that big actually. Like, it's a really big SUV, but it drives smaller than it actually is. And we'll actually get our acceleration pretty much right off the bat in today's video, so we can kind of see how it performs with that. Yeah, it's so easy to turn, but see what she's got. Oh yeah, and you guys know that I love this 6.2 V8. This is my favorite, like, naturally aspirated V8 right now in any sort of truck or SUV or anything, because it's a V8 and it's big and it's got a lot of power. It's so torquey, and the nice thing about this new Yukon is you literally can just like barely ease into the throttle. Like, look at this, just very lightly easing the throttle, and you just ride on a wave of torque. Like, it's super, super powerful. You really don't need any more torque. And again, I just need to emphasize, like, this is just so solid from just like a maneuvering standpoint. It's just incredible how easy this is to drive. Yeah, like, look at that. Like, I don't even have to try. Like, this is so comfortable. I've got my air conditioned seat on. And so as an overall package, what I would say about the new Yukon Denali is, if you want a really cool looking third row SUV that's really practical, obviously has the towing capacity of a truck, and then you've got again, the third row practicality, then this is a really solid option to go for, because you get the best of both worlds. You get that truck towing capability, you get the SUV practicality, the engine's awesome, the transmission, that 10-speed's awesome as well. Like, everything about this is really solid. And so again, just like as an overall package, it's super solid. Definitely recommend it. And out of the three, I think this one looks the best by far. Like, looks better than the Cadillac, definitely looks better than the Tahoe. That is going to sum things up for our video on the 2021 GMC Yukon Denali. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to National GMC for providing us with the Yukon Denali. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.